You think she chooses you because you're kind, because you're loyal, respectful. That's the first lie. Most people will never hear this. Not because it's hard to understand, but because it's too uncomfortable to accept. Freud showed us. It's not what you show her, it's what you trigger in her. And if you don't understand that, you'll be loved one day and forgotten the next. The truth most men never hear. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Most men do not understand women. Not because women are impossible to understand, but because men are looking in the wrong place. They focus on words, smiles, feelings. But Freud looked deeper and what he found was forbidden. He said, a woman doesn't always know what she wants because what she wants lives in her unconscious mind. This theory was so dark, so powerful, it scared people. So, they buried it. But today, I'm going to dig it back up. And when I do, you'll see the truth behind her love, her silence, her chaos, and maybe you'll never fall for the wrong woman again. She is ruled by the unconscious. Let me tell you something that will change how you see women forever. Most of what guides a woman's behavior doesn't live in her thoughts. It lives beneath her thoughts. Freud believed that women, just like men, are shaped by the unconscious mind. This means they are not always aware of why they do what they do, why they feel something, why they choose someone, why they destroy something that once made them happy. You've probably been taught to believe women are gentle, soft, emotional, but in a clear and honest way. You think when she says she loves you, she means it forever. You think when she's angry, she knows exactly why. You think her feelings are always connected to logic or reason. But Freud said something different. He said, a woman is not always in control of her desire. Because her desire does not come from logic. It comes from a deeper place. The unconscious mind is the part of the mind we do not fully see. It holds our past pain, our childhood memories, our hidden fantasies, our emotional wounds. And for many women, this part of the mind has more power than the part they can actually see. That's why you may have noticed something strange in your relationships. One moment, she's in love with you completely. She calls you her world, her soulmate, but the next week she becomes distant, cold, confused, and she can't explain why. It feels like she's lying. But here's the twist. She's not lying. She just doesn't fully know why her feelings changed. Because even she doesn't understand what her unconscious mind is doing. Her love doesn't follow logic. It follows patterns. Patterns formed by her past, her trauma, her fears, her desires. So when she pulls away, when she starts a fight for no clear reason, when she says one thing but does the opposite, it's not always a trick. It's not always a test. It's a reaction coming from a place she can't fully see. This is why Freud warned men. Do not listen too closely to what she says. Watch how she feels. Watch what she is drawn to. That's where the truth lives. You must understand this. What she says is not always what she feels. And what she feels is not always what she wants. You may ask, then how do I know what's real? You know, by watching her patterns, her energy, her behavior when things don't go her way. Words can be sweet, smooth, poetic. But her unconscious cannot lie. It speaks through action, emotion, silence, sudden changes. This is where the real truth hides. So, if you are a man who believes every word she says, you will always be confused. You will always chase her feelings, hoping they stay the same. But if you become the man who watches her deeper mind, the man who understands her without needing her to explain, then you become the man who cannot be controlled by her confusion. You don't react, you observe, you lead. Because now you understand. She is not ruled by reason. She is ruled by something deeper. And if you can't see her unconscious clearly, you'll keep falling for what's only on the surface. She craves power, not peace. There's something many men never understand until it's too late. You meet a woman, she tells you exactly what she wants. I want peace. I want a good man. I want loyalty, safety, stability. And like a good man, you listen. You give her kindness. You give her time. You show her your heart. But soon she pulls away. She gets bored. She starts ignoring your messages. She starts acting cold, distant, without reason, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? You did what she said she wanted, but you didn't give her what her unconscious truly craves. But Freud understood this. He said, she may ask for peace, but her unconscious is hungry for power. This is the dark truth. Certainty is safe, but boring. Kindness is good, but predictable. And the unconscious mind, especially the feminine unconscious, doesn't want predictable. It wants something more alive, more dangerous, more emotionally intense. She wants to feel deeply, to be shaken, to be surprised, to be pulled into something bigger than herself. That's why the man who gives her peace might be appreciated. But the man who gives her powerful emotional experiences is the one she can't stop thinking about. Look closely at what she responds to. Not just in you, but in others. The man who doesn't reply right away. The man who doesn't explain himself. Man who stays calm even when she acts wild. The man who makes her wonder, does he need me? Is he thinking of me? Can I really get to him? That uncertainty creates emotional gravity. It pulls her in. It activates her emotional body. It forces her to chase. Why? Because chasing is an act of desire. It makes her feel powerful emotions, even if they hurt. And the unconscious mind prefers strong emotion over no emotion at all. This is why so many nice guys get left behind. Not because they are weak, not because they are boring people, but because they don't trigger anything deep inside her. They are too easy to understand, too easy to control, too emotionally available. And when there's no emotional challenge, her desire slowly dies. Understand this. A woman might say she wants safety, but her unconscious often wants a storm. Not to destroy her, but to make her feel alive. So, what do? Do you become cruel? Do you play games? No. You don't become cold. You become powerful. You speak less. You move with certainty. You do not chase. You do not explain. You let your presence say everything. You let your energy speak louder than words. Because when a man becomes too easy to understand, he loses his mystery. And when mystery dies, attraction follows. So stop trying to be the perfect man she says she wants and start becoming the man her unconscious cannot forget. Not because you gave her peace, but because you held power without ever needing to say it. She tests without knowing it. You might be confused by this. One day she's warm, software, playful, the next day cold, quiet, distant. You think, did I do something wrong? Why is she upset now? Why is she pulling away when things were finally going well? You start overthinking. You send long messages. You try to fix it. But here's the truth Freud understood. And few men ever learn. She doesn't always know why she's testing you because it's not a conscious plan. It's an unconscious pattern. Her unconscious is always searching for something solid, for something real, for a man who won't collapse under pressure. So, when she starts an argument out of nowhere, when she says something rude, when she acts like she doesn't care, she's not trying to break you. She's trying to find your center. She wants to know, can I shake him? Can I move him with my mood? Can I make him chase me? And if the answer is yes, if you fold, if you get emotional, if you argue back, if you chase, she sees weakness. Not because she's cruel, not because she hates you, but because something deep inside her wants to trust you. And to trust you, she needs to feel your strength. Not strength in your body, not strength in your voice, but emotional strength, mental structure, inner leadership. She wants to know, can this man hold me when I can't even hold myself? Will he stay calm even when I'm in chaos? This is why your silence under pressure is more powerful than any words. This is why your non-reaction becomes your greatest form of attraction. If she cries, stay calm. If she pulls away, give her space. If she tries to start drama, don't play the game. Hold your ground. Not to punish her, but to show her that you are unshakable, because once she knows she can't control your emotions, she finally feels safe to surrender hers. You become the anchor in her storm. And that, brother, is when she respects you the most. So stop trying to explain yourself. Stop reacting to every test. Stop chasing peace where peace was never missing. She doesn't need you to fix her feelings. She needs to feel that yours are not controlled by hers. That is the kind of strength she truly craves, and the kind that most men will never master. Why most men stay blind? Let me tell you why most men stay stuck in the same painful cycle with women. Confused, hurt, wondering what went wrong. It's because most men believe words more than energy. Here's how it usually happens. She says, "I love you." She says, "You're perfect for me." She says, "You're the only one I want." And you believe it because you want to, because it feels good. Because her words sound true. At least at that moment. But here's what you need to understand. Words come easy, especially in love, especially when she's feeling something sweet or excited in the moment. But what she says in one moment can change in the next. One day she's warm, affectionate, loving. The next, she's cold, distant, like a stranger. You wonder, did I do something wrong? Why is she pulling away when she said she loved me? Why is she acting like I never mattered? This is the pain that blinds most men. They think love is a promise made with words. But the truth is, real desire doesn't live in her words. Freud understood this. He knew that women, like all humans, are guided by their unconscious. The unconscious doesn't speak in words. It speaks in energy, in actions, in patterns that repeat themselves over and over again. That's why the man she claims to love can suddenly become invisible to her. Because her unconscious is drawn to something deeper, a feeling, an emotion, a challenge, an unknown. The unconscious mind craves mystery, not certainty, intensity, not routine, presence, not just promises. Most men never see this. They believe that as long as they say the right things and do the right things, she will stay. But here's what Freud would tell you. Don't listen only to what she says. Watch what she does. Watch what she's drawn to. That's where the truth lives. In other words, if her words say she wants love, but her actions show she's always chasing men who give her uncertainty. It's the actions that reveal her true desires. If she says she wants a good man, but always chooses the one who challenges her, it's the patterns that reveal her truth. If she says she wants peace but creates chaos in every relationship, it's the energy behind her choices that show who she really is. So, stop falling for the surface. Stop trusting every "I love you," start looking deeper. Watch how she behaves when she's angry. Watch where she goes when she's confused. Watch what kind of men make her feel something. That's where her unconscious mind speaks. And that's where the truth is. When you understand this, you stop getting hurt by her words. You stop feeling lost when her emotions change. You stop being the man who's always left behind. Instead, you become the man who sees the game behind the game. You become the man who doesn't chase because he already knows where the real story is. And that's the man she can't control. The man she can't forget. The man she respects even when she doesn't fully understand why. How to see through her without hating her. Let's get one thing straight. This is not about hating women. It's not about blaming them for being emotional or mysterious or hard to understand. It's about seeing them clearly without losing yourself in the process. You see, most men go one of two ways. They either get so confused by her behavior that they chase her feelings. Or they get angry and bitter thinking women are just manipulative or fake. But the truth is deeper than that. Freud taught us that the unconscious drives a lot of what women do. Their mood swings, their sudden changes, their attraction to men who make them feel strong emotions. It's not always something she's choosing to do on purpose. It's part of her nature, a part even she may not fully understand. And when you see this, you stop taking everything so personally. When she pulls away, you don't panic. When she starts drama, you don't fight back with anger. When she says something that hurts, you don't feel the need to prove her wrong. Instead, you stay still. You stay solid. You stay calm. You realize that her emotional storms are not about you. They are about her, her past, her fears, her hidden needs. And that's where your real power begins. Because most men react. They try to fix her feelings. They chase her moods. They try to prove that they're good enough for her. But when you truly understand her unconscious, you don't need to do that anymore. You become free. You become the man who can watch her storm and not get swept away by it. You become the man who doesn't collapse when she tests you. The man who doesn't need to explain himself every time she's upset. The man who can see through her chaos and still stays strong. Because here's the truth. A woman doesn't respect a man who gets lost in her feelings. She respects the man who stays calm no matter what mood she's in. She follows the man who doesn't need to justify himself. She stays with the man who can handle her without trying to control her. Because when a man can hold her storm without losing his own center, she finally feels safe in his presence. Safe enough to drop her guard. Safe enough to open up. Safe enough to trust. So remember, this isn't about hate. It's about understanding. Understanding frees you. Understanding makes you powerful. Understanding makes you the man who can lead without ever needing to chase. And that's the man she never forgets. She doesn't want to lead, she wants to trust. In modern times, women are told to lead, to be strong, to be in control, but deep down, many women are tired of it. She wants to relax. She wants to let go. She wants to feel like she can trust the man beside her. But she can't do that if you're uncertain, if you're chasing, if you're always reacting. She doesn't want to carry the emotional weight. She wants you to hold it. Freud said, when a woman can finally surrender, she finds the peace she never knew she was missing. And that only happens when the man is stronger than her moods. Her unconscious drives the relationship. Most men don't realize this. She is not following a plan. She is following a pull. Her unconscious mind controls most of the relationship. Who she chooses, why she stays, why she leaves. If you don't understand her inner code, you'll feel confused, hurt, betrayed. But if you learn to read her emotions, not as words, but as signals, you'll begin to lead her heart without forcing it. And that, brother, is real power. The man who understands never chases. When you understand her unconscious, you stop chasing approval. You don't fold when she tests you. You don't break when she turns cold. You don't explain yourself when she acts distant. Why? Because you know what's happening beneath the surface. And when you know the truth, you don't try to change her. You just stop changing yourself to please her. That's when she respects you. That's when she feels your gravity. That's when she follows your lead without needing words. Final words. You were never taught the real truth. And that wasn't an accident. It was planned. They didn't want you to be strong, clear, or confident. They wanted you to be soft, confused, and always chasing something or someone, whether it's love, validation, or attention. They wanted you to be unsure of yourself because a man who is confused is easy to control. But something changed. You are not that man anymore. Now you've seen the truth with your own eyes. You've started to understand how things really work. You've looked past the surface and seen the code behind the chaos. You now understand that what people say, especially what women say, is often not the full truth. You've learned to read the energy, the vibe, the body language, and the silences. You've seen that her unconscious actions speak much louder than her sweet words. And now the real question comes. Will you forget all of this and go back to sleep? Will you return to being the man who didn't see clearly, who kept reacting, kept hoping, kept chasing, or will you stay awake? Will you continue to walk this path of awareness and become the man who cannot be shaken? Because the moment you understand her shadow, the emotional hidden part of her that she may not even understand herself, you stop being pulled by her moods, you stop falling for her tests, her drama, her emotional swings. You don't get angry. You don't get desperate. You don't get lost. You become something far more powerful. You become the anchor. While the world moves, you remain still. While others react, you observe. While she tests, you remain calm. You lead. You guide. You stay grounded. And that, my brother, that is the moment the game ends. No more confusion. No more chasing what was never meant to be chased. No more losing your power to people who don't even understand their own. That is the moment your true power begins. You are no longer controlled by her storm. You have become the calm in the middle of it. And from that place, you lead, you love, and you live like the man you were always meant to.